Your heart is racing. Your mind won't stop spinning. You're trapped in a cycle of what-if thoughts that feel impossible to escape. Sound familiar? Here's what most people don't realize. That anxious voice in your head isn't telling you the truth. It's not protecting you. It's prison keeping you locked in a state of constant worry and fear. But 2,500 years ago, a man sitting under a tree discovered something revolutionary. He found the key to breaking free from the mental prison that anxiety creates. And today, neuroscience is proving that his ancient techniques literally rewire your brain for calm. I'm about to share 5 Buddhist practices that can transform your relationship with anxiety forever. These aren't feel-good platitudes or temporary band-aids. These are scientifically backed methods that address anxiety at its root, giving you the tools to find peace even in the storm. If you've tried everything else and nothing seems to work, this might be exactly what you've been searching for. Technique 1. The Spacious Sky Practice. This technique draws from the Tibetan Buddhist concept of recognizing the mind's natural spaciousness. When anxiety contracts our awareness into a tight knot of worry, this practice helps us remember our mind's vast, open nature. The practice. Begin by settling into a comfortable position. Imagine your awareness as an endless sky, blue, vast, and boundless. Now notice your anxious thoughts and feelings as weather phenomena moving through this sky. Worried thoughts are like scattered clouds. Physical tension is like wind gusts. Fearful scenarios are like brief thunderstorms. Restless energy is like shifting atmospheric pressure. The key insight is this: no matter how intense the weather becomes, the sky itself remains unchanged. Storms come and go, but the sky's essential nature, spacious, clear, and unaffected, endures. When anxiety intensifies, remind yourself, I am the sky, not the weather. Rest in this recognition. You don't need to clear the clouds or stop the storm. Simply remember your true nature as the vast space in which all experiences arise and dissolve. Practical application. During anxious moments, take 3 breaths and silently say, Sky mind, weather thoughts. This simple phrase helps you remember that you are the unchanging awareness, not the temporary mental weather patterns. Technique 2. Walking meditation with earth connection. This practice blends the simplicity of Zen walking meditation with the ancient wisdom of grounding, connecting to the stabilizing energy of the earth. It's especially helpful when anxiety makes you feel scattered, mentally foggy, or disconnected from your body. When your thoughts are racing and your awareness is caught in the future or past, this technique gently brings you back into the present, into your body, into your breath, into the support beneath your feet. The practice 1. Choose a safe, quiet space. It can be a quiet hallway, a garden path, your bedroom, or a patch of grass. You don't need much space. Even 10 to 20 steps are enough. What matters is your attention, not the distance. 2. Begin by standing still. Before you move, simply stand. Feel the soles of your feet touching the ground. Feel the pull of gravity. Let yourself become aware of the full weight of your body being supported effortlessly by the earth beneath you. You don't have to hold yourself up. The earth is already doing that. Take a few deep breaths, gently allowing your awareness to sink down from your racing thoughts and into the sensations of your body. 3. Walk slowly. Extremely slowly. Begin to walk at an intentionally slow pace, taking 1 step every 3 to 4 seconds. Break each step into 3 parts, lifting your foot from the earth, moving it slowly through space, placing it back down, heel to toe. Feel the moment your foot makes contact with the ground again. With each step, let your awareness rest fully in the physical experience, the texture beneath your feet, the shifting of your balance, the quiet rhythm of movement. Root visualization. Anchoring yourself to the earth. As you walk, imagine roots extending from the soles of your feet, reaching deep into the ground. With each step, feel those roots growing stronger, thicker, and more grounded. Visualize any anxiety, stress, or mental agitation flowing down through those roots. Let the earth receive it, not to reject it, but to transform it, like compost turning decay into new life. You might mentally say, with each step, I return to the earth. With each step, I come home to my body. Working with thoughts. It's natural for thoughts to arise, planning, worrying, judging. That's not a problem. Each time you notice your mind has wandered, gently and without self-criticism, return to the next step. Return to your breath. Return to the feeling of the earth beneath your feet. You're not walking to get somewhere. You're walking to arrive here. Practical application, a grounding tool, anytime, anywhere. This isn't a practice reserved for quiet gardens or retreats. It can be used in a hallway before a meeting, in your living room during a stressful day, on the sidewalk when your thoughts feel overwhelming. Even taking 3 to 5 mindful steps between tasks can be a reset. If you're feeling stuck in your head, take off your shoes if possible, place your feet flat on the ground and walk a few slow steps. Let each movement become a prayer of presence, a way of telling your body and your mind, I am here, I am safe, I am grounded. The earth has held you since the day you were born. Each breath you've ever taken has been in her embrace. Let this practice be a reunion, a reminder that no matter how chaotic your inner world feels, there is always a place beneath you that is steady, calm, and unwavering. All you need to do is take the next step. If this message resonates with you, and you're seeking more moments of peace and insight, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for daily reflections rooted in ancient wisdom and modern clarity. Technique 3, the empty bowl meditation. This practice is inspired by the Buddhist concept of emptiness, shunyata, not as a void, but as openness and potential. When anxiety fills us with racing thoughts and tight emotions, we can cultivate inner spaciousness. The practice. Sit quietly and imagine your mind as a beautiful empty bowl. Not empty in a lacking way, but empty in a receptive, open way, like a bowl ready to receive whatever is offered. Notice how anxiety wants to fill this bowl to overflowing with urgent thoughts about the future, replay loops of past mistakes, what-if scenarios stacked one upon another, physical sensations of tension and restlessness. Instead of being overwhelmed by this mental clutter, practice this simple technique. Gently tip the bowl. Let all the anxious content pour out, not because you're rejecting it, but because you're making space. After each emptying, rest in the bowl's natural spaciousness. Notice how much room there is when you're not cramming every worry and fear inside. If new, anxious thoughts arise, simply tip the bowl again. This isn't about stopping thoughts permanently, but about returning again and again to inner spaciousness. Practical application. When feeling mentally overwhelmed, place your hands in a bowl shape and physically gesture, pouring out your worries. This simple movement can help activate the meditation even in busy moments. Technique 4, the River of Thoughts Practice. Drawing from the Buddhist understanding of flow and non-attachment, this technique helps you develop a new relationship with anxious thinking patterns. The practice. Sit comfortably and imagine yourself sitting peacefully beside a flowing river. This river represents the continuous stream of your thoughts and emotions. Notice that anxious thoughts are like different objects floating down this river. Some thoughts are like large logs, heavy worries that seem to dominate the stream. Others are, like leaves, lighter concerns that drift by more quickly. Repetitive worries are like pieces of debris that keep circling in eddies. Sudden panic thoughts are like rapids, turbulent but temporary. Your role is not to jump into the river to rearrange the objects or stop the flow. Instead, you're the peaceful observer sitting on the bank, watching everything pass by. When you notice yourself getting pulled into the river, caught up in anxious thinking, gently return to your position on the bank. You can acknowledge what's flowing by, there goes worry about tomorrow, or here comes that familiar fear, without needing to follow it downstream. Practice saying, I see this thought, and I let it flow past. Practical application. During anxious episodes, visualize stepping back to the riverbank of awareness. This simple mental shift helps you observe your anxiety rather than being swept away by it. Technique 5, the Compassionate Witness Practice. This technique cultivates what Buddhists call Buddha nature, the innate wise and compassionate awareness within everyone. It's particularly powerful for anxiety mixed with self-criticism or shame. The practice. Imagine that within you lives a wise, compassionate being, your own inner Buddha or awakened self. This being has infinite patience, understanding, and love for all aspects of your experience, including your anxiety. When anxiety arises, shift your perspective to this compassionate witness. From this viewpoint, your anxious thoughts are not problems to be solved, but expressions of a mind trying to protect you. Your worried feelings are not weaknesses, but signs of a heart that cares deeply. Your physical tension is not something wrong with you, but your body's attempt to prepare for challenges. This inner witness might say things like, "I see how hard you're trying to keep everything together. It makes perfect sense that you'd feel worried about this. Your heart is working so hard to care for everyone and everything. This anxiety shows how much you want things to go well." Practice speaking to yourself from this place of infinite understanding and kindness. You're not trying to fix or change the anxiety, but to hold it with the same tender care a loving grandparent might show a frightened child. Practical application. When self-criticism accompanies anxiety, pause and ask, what would my most compassionate self say to me right now? Let that voice guide your self-talk, transforming internal criticism into internal kindness. Integration and daily practice, turning insight into inner transformation. The techniques you've explored are not magic spells or instant cures. They are seeds, seeds of awareness, seeds of presence, seeds of resilience. And like all seeds, they require the gentle forces of consistency, care, and time. They need light, water, patience, your steady return. When tended regularly, these seeds grow into strong roots beneath your life, roots that anchor you during the emotional storms, roots that remind you of your inner stability when anxiety tries to shake you loose. An important truth. In moments of intense anxiety, it's natural to want relief, fast. It's tempting to reach for these practices like a fire extinguisher, a way to douse the flames of panic or overthinking. And yes, these tools can absolutely help calm a storm. But their real power doesn't come from emergency use. Their real power unfolds quietly, through daily integration. They become not something you do when you're anxious, but something you are, even when you're not. They become a way of being, a posture of the heart. How to begin integrating these practices into your life. Start small, start simple. Don't try to master everything at once. Choose just one practice, maybe mindful breathing, walking meditation, or grounding visualization. Commit to that practice for a full week, even if it's only for a few minutes each day. Build depth, not variety. Repetition turns knowledge into wisdom. Even 3 to 5 minutes a day can plant a lasting habit. You don't need an hour. You need intention. Let it be gentle. Let it be consistent. Practice even when you're not anxious. Here's a paradox. The best time to train your nervous system to handle anxiety is when you're not anxious. It's like training a muscle. You don't wait until a burning building is collapsing to learn how to hold a ladder. You practice calmly, steadily, so that when the crisis comes, your inner foundation is already strong. Practicing when you're calm builds a safety net that catches you when the storm hits. You're not trying to eliminate anxiety. This is a sacred shift in mindset. The goal is not to silence anxiety, fix it or push it away. The goal is to change your relationship with it, to meet it not with fear or judgment, but with curiosity instead of avoidance, compassion instead of fear, presence instead of resistance. When you stop running from anxiety and start witnessing it with gentle awareness, something changes. Its grip loosens, its weight lightens. What once felt unbearable becomes workable. What once felt suffocating becomes spacious. And in that space, you begin to breathe again. Be patient with yourself. These are not magic tricks. They are skills. And like all meaningful skills, they take practice. Some days you'll feel grounded, present, steady. Other days your mind will spin like a hurricane and everything will feel out of reach. That's okay. That's human. That's the path. Each time you sit down to breathe with awareness, each time you take a mindful step, each time you interrupt a negative spiral with presence, You are not failing. You are training your nervous system to respond differently. You are reclaiming your mind from the grip of habit. You are rewiring patterns of fear into patterns of wisdom, clarity, and calm. And while you may not notice radical change overnight, look for the small victories. That one moment you paused before reacting. That time you spoke to yourself with kindness instead of harshness. The day you felt overwhelmed but didn't collapse. You stayed. The growing spaciousness around your thoughts, like light around clouds. These are not small things. These are signs of transformation. A teaching from the Buddha. The Buddha taught that suffering does not come solely from pain, but from our resistance to pain. We suffer not just because we're anxious, but because we believe, I shouldn't feel this way. This feeling will never go away. Something is wrong with me. We fight anxiety. We judge it. We believe it defines us. But suffering begins to end the moment we let go of resistance, the moment we say, this, too, belongs. These practices are not about fixing what is broken. They are about holding experience without judgment, even when it's uncomfortable. They teach you how to welcome discomfort as a teacher, not an enemy. They help you meet yourself with compassion, no matter what's arising inside you. This is the heart of mindfulness. This is the beginning of freedom. Let your practice become a way of life. These are not just techniques. They are invitations to live with more presence. Let them infuse the small moments. Let brushing your teeth become a mindfulness ritual, not just a routine. Let your walk to the bus or the store become a walking meditation, one step at a time. Let your anxious thoughts become bells of awareness, gentle reminders to come back to now. Let every breath remind you, you are here, you are safe, you are enough. This is not about being perfect, this is about being present. The quiet revolution begins within. With every small act of attention, you are not just calming anxiety, you are reclaiming your life, you are returning to yourself, not the self that anxiety tries to define, but the self that is deeper, wiser, and always free.